Rahul family. What I'm gonna say is, so today I received a message from someone that's very close to me about one of my siblings trying to put campaigns up talking about child molestations up against Pops. First of all, I want to say that was not even a charge that was even held against him, and he's not in jail for child molestation. Secondly, I want to talk about the fact that child molestation did happen, but it wasn't by him. It was by the teenagers. The older boys were doing that. They were doing that to the younger boys to assert their dominance over a lot of them. Now, the problem was that because of some of the boys who they were, by who the people knew them in the community as, and in the positions that they played, they threatened a lot of the younger people to make them afraid to say anything. Not to mention, they also built a bond because they were also family. We cared about we cared about these people, and it got to a point to where you were afraid to speak up against them. You were afraid to say something because then you would feel like you're betraying your own brother. At the same time, it was your brother that did that shit to you. Now, I can only speak from a person who actually experienced it myself. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of my father's children were definitely also targeted in the mosque also by the teenage boys. You know what I'm saying? By some of them, and teenage boys and it was, the thing is like this. When Pops found out that stuff was going on, he couldn't quite figure out who it was because everybody was afraid to say something. Everybody was afraid to point out who it was that was doing it. Because it could have been one of his sons, it could have been one of this person, or it could have been that person. But it was somebody that was in a position that a lot of the younger people respected and was also afraid of and looked up to in many ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were cool people in the community. You know what I'm saying? Even though they did this shit. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like, when I spoke to my father, the reason why I ended up getting sent, why he wanted me to leave the land in time, was because he knew that the stuff was happening and he didn't know who was doing it. So he started sending a lot of his children out to their mothers without necessarily telling them why. And I was one of those kids that I got a chance to get the information later. And from so what I'm saying is and the age brackets of the people that was doing it now today, they're in the Jacob York ages. You know what I'm saying? And they're even tough people, tough brothers and strong people that we look up to and think that we're strong, that suffered the shit too. You know what I'm saying? But they're afraid to say who it was because they're afraid of betrayal. They're afraid of, and now even worse, because Pop sits in jail for this crime. You know what I'm saying? Well, not this crime, but people thinking that he sits in jail for this crime, and people having this notion about Pops. You know what I'm saying? They feel even worse to come forth and say that, hey, it was this person, not Pops, because then they're gonna feel like everybody's gonna get at them because they didn't tell the truth. So it's like a fierce tactic in a system that just continuously gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse over time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm making this video because I want the family to know something, that there are people that are working against us. There are people that are trying to, and some of these people are inside the family, and the reason why they're working against us, not because they're against the community, not because they're against what Nwapu's about, not because they're against anything, but because they're afraid of being exposed. They're afraid of everybody realizing that it was them that committed these heinous crimes that is being pinned against Dr. Malachi York. You know what I'm saying? And some of these people, they are people who we respect in our family, and it's hard to even. It's hard to go back and say that. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm making this video now. You know what I'm saying? And the other video that I made too, that I already posted inside the group. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of people pretending like, you know what I'm saying, like that shit didn't happen to them or pretending like he did it when they know that he wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? There's no way he could have did that to so many. Like, come on, man, that was ridiculous. It's and the fact that some of his own children, some of his own kids are trying to keep this thing going. They're trying to keep, and my question is why? And that's the point that I think everybody should be opening their eyes to. I'm saying all of those people that is pretending that Dr. Malachi York did that shit. If they do the research, you find out that that in the court cases it was proven that he didn't do it. And if you need to talk to anybody about it, you can talk to Victoria. She'll give you all the information that you need about that stuff. So there's evidence that he did not do that. So why are they continuously perpetuating this stuff to the community? Why do they keep trying to tell us to the people? For me, I think what it is that it's them trying to make people see him in this negative light so that they won't even give the chance to hear what's going on. I'm saying, because if people really dig into it and go underneath of it, then you begin to really find out who are the people that's orchestrating this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And you begin to realize who are these people. But and remember, it's hard to point that finger at people. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to be like, hey, oh, this is the motherfucker, even though that might be that motherfucker, Jacob York. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop hating on your fucking father, man. Stop it, man. You know what I'm saying? Support and help us get him out, because there was a lot of people in his age brackets. There was a lot of people in Jacob York's age group that was doing that to the young boys. You know what I'm saying? I know that because I experienced it firsthand myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being 100% honest about that. And because you got like it's been 15 years. Dr. Malachi York has been locked up for 15 years, and it was proven that he did not commit those crimes. People try to keep this child molestation image inside of everybody's head fresh, so to keep people thinking that he did that stuff, when there is no possible way that he could have done it. He didn't have the time for everything that was going on from New York, all the property that he was buying up, moving from upstate to Philadelphia, from Philadelphia down to George, from George back to New York, to Detroit, and traveling overseas, getting locked up. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things that was going on around the same time that this stuff was happening to the children. You know what I'm saying? And most of the stuff got crazier and worse at the times that he was not around. And most of the kids, they were scared into not saying anything. You know what I'm saying? So nobody said anything. Nobody spoke up. So this stuff went on until eventually later on it began to leak out. And when it leaked out, everybody just blamed Dr. Malachi York because he was the person that they claim is the leader and the head of everything. You know what I'm saying? So so all the fault fell back to him because no one spoke up. No one said who the actual monsters were. Well, I'm going to tell you that as a person who was a victim of it, I'm going to stand up today and I'm going to say that it wasn't Dr. Malachi York, but it was teenage boys that was doing that. They were between the ages of 14, 15, 16, and 17. You know what I'm saying? Some of them in the middle of the night, they would grab the target that they picked, and they would pen them down in groups. Some of them did this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is some real shit. And I have other people who are afraid to come forth and say, this is why I'm going to say it now. Because I'm not afraid. People can get mad at me. They can try to do whatever the fuck they want. I'm so tired of people lying about my father. It's time for this man to be free because he did not commit these crimes. I'm saying other people did in his name. They fucking did, not him. I'm saying, and now they blame him, and he sits there and he's been sitting there for 15 years, while these people who created this lie has been lavishing in luxury off the backs and the works of everybody in the community, his family, and everyone. And they're sitting there flourishing in all this richness, while his children, a lot of them ended up homeless. A lot of the children, the families that was on the land ended up being homeless because these people that assaulted Dr. Malachi York like this, they wasn't thinking about the community. They didn't even think about how the government will come in and take everything from everyone. In their minds, they was thinking about just taking him down. So for me, it sounds like a personal vendetta against that man, which can only be gotten usually by someone that's very close to him or someone that's related to him. So I think these are points that we have to pay attention to, and anybody that was a victim, anybody that experienced this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell the fucking truth. Come up and tell the truth about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't lie. Don't hide it for the people. You ain't got to say nobody's names who did it, but tell the truth that it wasn't Dr. Malachi York, and it was these teenage fucking boys that was doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was some of the brothers that was doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the people that just came into the tab from the streets in the hood, and niggas that was coming out of jail, that was coming and hiding from the law. These are the people that was doing this stuff to these children. You know what I'm saying? And the worst part is that they were scaring these kids into not saying anything. I know that because it took me all the way to the age of 33 today to come out and say that I was one of those kids that experienced it. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't just happen one time. It happened all the fucking time. And when I told my father about something of this nature, being afraid to fully tell him everything, when I told him a piece of it, he said he began preparing the situations in order to get me out of there. And I ended up moving with my mother. My mother came up to visit me. Next thing you know, I was living with my mother for the remainders of the upcoming years of my life. And I understood why he sent me away. You know what I'm saying? And then as a child, I was I'm not gonna lie, I was a little upset. I was hurt because my family, I was leaving my family behind. I was leaving my land, everything that I was a part of, everything that I grew up in, everything that I knew was literally just ripped away from me. And I went into this other world. But later on, I realized that he did that in order to protect me because he didn't know who it was. And we were all afraid to say who it was. We was all afraid to say that it was one of our brothers. We was all afraid to say that it was the strong brothers that were sitting there looking all tough and cool. And we was afraid to tell the truth about that. And in the end, Pops is the one that sits in jail today. You know what I'm saying? And this man dedicated his life to the community. Some of his own children resent him because he dedicated his life to the community. They feel that I got one brother that told me directly in my face that yo, Pops is a deadbeat dad. Why he feel that way? Because he feel Pops is a deadbeat dad because he feels like Pops wasn't his father. He felt that Pops was the community's father over his own children. You know what I'm saying? And me, I understand the mission. So I'm not mad at him about that. I respect the mission because I know what it's about. I know it's about the community and I know it's about the people. And I think we as the people, man, we gotta stand up for this man. You know what I'm saying? Like who else can come and help build a community the way that he did for us? You know what I'm saying? Like and how can we allow these people to just rip that away from us? How can we allow them to destroy like the image of someone who dedicated himself to us, to our people, to trying to make us intelligent people? Like I can sit here in Germany today and I can have conversations with some of the sharpest minds in Europe about different topics. You know what I'm saying? And I have to give respect to the old man for that. You know what I'm saying? Because if I didn't have the opportunity to learn the things that I've learned as a child, growing up, knowing him and knowing the information that he had and researching throughout my life, even though I was sent away from the land, if I didn't have this opportunity, I wouldn't be able to sit here today talking about that stuff. And I think that's something that we got to stand for. And we can't let these people lie about him. We can't let no more. Like there's too many people that suffered. And even today, there are people who have emotional problems because they're afraid to come up and tell the truth. And they feel guilty now because the old man sits there and they know that he didn't do that to them. And they feel guilty today for it. You know what I'm saying? I know that because as his son, I felt guilty for going through my life and not telling the truth that I experienced it myself. I was one of those 5-year-old kids that was getting pulled in the bathroom by the older boys and being forced down on the ground. I experienced that shit first fucking hand. And I remember every fucking moment of it. I remember the face of the person. I would never say the person's name because I'm not going to disrespect the person because I believe in redemption of people. You know what I'm saying? I believe that people have a chance to make it, to make it right. But that still doesn't mean that I forgot. And I'm not going to stand there. No, I can't stand no longer in my life while my father sits in jail. And I know that he didn't commit that crime because I was one of the kids that suffered that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm employing to everyone, all of the people that went through that shit, that was there, you know what I'm saying, that experienced that shit. From Baltimore it happened, and to New York it happened. There's no possible way the old man could have been doing all that stuff in that time. You know what I'm saying? He was too busy writing books. He was too busy in meetings. He was too busy dealing with this country. There was too much. He was building communities in different places. There was no time for him to do that. And all of the people that experienced that shit, all of the people all of the kids that claim that they suffered that shit, come up and tell the truth. Tell the fucking truth. Tell the truth. You ain't got to lie. You ain't got to tell on your brother. You ain't got to lie on nobody. You ain't got to say nobody's fucking name. But tell the truth. You know that it wasn't the old man. You know that he ain't never touched you like that. When he pat the kids on the head, he pat the kids on the head like they were all his children. And each of the children that was on the land looked up to the old man like he was their father, and they all wanted him to be their father. It was an honor to even walk with him. People were inspired to move with him. Like we can't allow these monsters to destroy that from us. Because then what else do we have? What else do we have? What else do we have as a people? We're supposed to continue calling ourselves black and being proud of calling ourselves black. You know what I'm saying? Which is nothing but a shade or a fucking color that is synonymous with everything that they portray to, from eating fried chicken to watermelon to grape soda and grape juice and orange this and orange that and nigga that and nigga that and brother in jail and this and that. These are the images that they associate with the idea of the color black. Do we want to keep on being called black? You know what I'm saying? And we get mad at a brother that says, I am not black, but I am. We get mad at a brother that is awakening to that. So what is our name? We're Nuwapian, you know what I'm saying? Which is a people, a culture. You know what I'm saying? And we can't let these monsters, even if it's his own fucking flesh and blood, we can't let these fucking monsters win. We can't let them take him away from us. We can't let them. I don't care. And I will say it again. Even if it's its own, even if it's even if it's his own blood, even if it's one of his own children that is against him, you know what I'm saying? They are enemies. They are monsters. They're not. Then and because they don't want to build the community to build. They want to keep their little fame. They want to keep their little skyride over people. They want to keep their perspectives of being dominant. There is no such thing as dominance because everybody is fallible. In other words, nobody cannot make a fucking mistake. You know what I'm saying? And what the old man did for us is he gave us a fucking platform to where we can be proud as a people. And we can't let them take that away from us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking again, all those people that experienced that shit, all those people that was there, that went through that shit like I went through that shit, please tell the truth. Pops did not do that shit. I'm saying, make videos, write stories, but be honest. I promise you, it will clean your heart. It will clean your mind. It will clear you up. Since I've been being able to come forth with this stuff, talk, and I'm not gonna lie, I've had a psychiatrist, a friend of mine who deals with the psychology, and I've been talking for years with people trying to get over the situation that happened. And I realized what the problem was. The problem was is that my father sits in jail for a crime that people told me that he sits in jail for a crime that I know he didn't commit because I suffered it. And at the time that they claimed that he committed that, I was one of the children that was suffering it at that particular fucking time. You know what I'm saying? And he sits in jail for that shit. Well, I gotta hear this dude who's supposed to be my fucking flesh and blood talking shit about his own father, trying to lie about his own father, keeping this lie perpetuated in people's minds. Why? For what? For what fucking reason? Like, for what fucking reason? Unless you're one of the monsters that did that shit. You were one of the people that was doing that to them damn kids, and you were afraid that the truth is gonna come out about you. So as long as the old man sits there, you're in the fucking clear, and you can pretend to be the fucking savior of the fucking people. Meanwhile, you just destroying and lying. Come on, Jacob. And all of them motherfuckers. I ain't gonna say no other name. I'm saying that name directly because I've seen him directly come at Pops. So I'm coming directly at him. And I don't care what nobody got to feel about that. Because that's my father that's there. You know what I'm saying? And that man, what he has done for our people, man, this is something that we can't let these fucks win, man. We can't let these people, we gotta push harder. We gotta get more people to stand up to tell the truth. That everything that they're saying about him to try to keep him there is a fucking lie. Everything that they're trying to say about him to try to keep people from supporting, keeping people from helping, especially our people from helping and supporting, is a fucking lie. And they ain't nothing but agents from the fucking beginning. And the worst part is some of the agents was born in the community. Because their parents was Asians before. And that's the even sick part. And I know this because I talk to the mothers. I talk to the elders. I talk to the brothers. And I actually listened. And not with the listening of, I want to hear about I wanted to know the nitty gritty and the truth of what the fuck happened. Because I experienced some really crazy shit and some wonderful shit. And I want this world back. You know what I'm saying? But without the monsters. I want this world back. I want to be able to say, yeah, that's our holy land right there. And see, this is where we go, where we can learn about our culture, who we are as a people. This is who we are. We built this stuff right here, the pyramids that was there. You know what I'm saying? Everything from the lights to the fucking pipes that was running beneath the earth was built by the people there. I'm saying that was built from the family for the family. You have young brothers, children in there working too, learning about all this stuff. I want this back. So I'm asking anybody that experienced that shit, if you can come up and be honest and be real, be strong enough to tell the truth and be like, look, you ain't got you don't have to say, you ain't got to say the people's names. I'm only saying Jacob because I'm not saying that Jacob did that to me, because I'm not going to say, because he didn't do that to me. I'm not going to say that he did, but I'll say this, that I know that he was part of the groups that was doing that to a bunch of people. I know, because I know that the groups that did that to me, like I said, we ain't got to put no names out there. All you got to do is just tell the truth that it wasn't Pop. All you got to do is say it was 15 fucking year old boys, 16, 17-year-old boys at that time. It was them that was doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's just being fucking real. And I'm sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings. I'm sorry if people feel bad about it. I'm sorry if people feel like I'm attacking anybody, because that's not what I'm trying to do. All I want is people to be honest. Because when you're honest, then you're clear. When you're clear, then we can move forward. You know what I'm saying? And then Pops can get out of jail because they know that shit's a fucking lie. You know what I'm saying? Like just tell the truth. Anybody that says that they experienced that shit, anybody that was there, because I was there, I experienced it myself. Anybody that was there that experienced it for themselves, tell the fucking truth. Tell the truth. Peace and blessings, family, and everybody have a wonderful night.